Welcome to Geoff Schwartz, Smarter Than You. I'm Geoff Schwartz. It is Friday, January 5th, and it's the final weekend of the National Football League. And on Fridays, we preview all of the games, all National Football League teams, and we do so with our friends from the Vaulted app, the home of my season-long game, giving out $14,000 of cash prizes in my pools with $5,000 allocated. My final pool season with Day of the Big Game. That's VLTED. It's a place you can store your sports predictions, which we'll do at the end of the show. We're participating in my cash prize pools without any entry fees and prove you're smarter than your friends. We're using the Vaulted Challenge feature. As you guys know by now, I have my pool each week on the Vaulted app. Go find the pool. That's Geoff with a G, Geoff. Free to enter. 20 questions. You agree to disagree with them, and you set a value of 1 to 10 on your confidence, and the winner gets $400. Second place gets 75. Third place gets 25. Free to enter. If you beat me in any of the weeks, you enter the big game pool on the final football Sunday of the season, and we will talk about the ones that we like in the pool from this week later in the show. Matt, our record is being disputed right now in some internal calculations. We're either 58% or we're either 59%. I don't know what it is, and so we'll figure it out as we go. I know that I have us down for 49.5 points on the contest that I play, and I believe I have one win extra on our show than I have on the contest because I got a different number on the contest, if that makes sense. So I think that the point is we're going to finish with a winning record, and historically, me and you have done very well in Week 18 because Week 18 is a week where you don't overthink it, guys. Don't overthink it. Just don't. I'm going to give you a stat at the top of this. I'm sure you have this stat. I'm going to do this now. We're friends of the Action Network. Since 1990, eliminated teams playing teams that need a win over the final 2 weeks of the regular season are 164 against the spread. It's profitable to bet against the teams that have to win in Week 18 because guess what, Matt? You have to win in Week 18 to get in the playoffs. You're probably not very good. You're just okay. There's no guarantee you're going to win that game. So starting with that premise, Matt, fire away, buddy. How are we doing?
Good, man. Good to see you. I can't believe this is the last regular season podcast that we leave the show with such a good record, around 10 games over 500, which is awesome. I can't believe we're here. It feels like the season just kind of started and we're just, it's time to say goodbye to some of these teams. You know, we can debate whether we're betting the Panthers one last time if we have it in us. That would be maybe our first win of about 15 tries. But yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been a great year. I'm curious to see how our futures bets look. I'm sort of glancing at that also. But yeah, thanks for listening to everybody, and hopefully we can give you one more profitable week here. Let's start with a game in almost exactly 24 hours tomorrow. That is Pittsburgh at Baltimore, a game that always has some fireworks, no matter who is playing. This one, I think, is definitely going to be on our list.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you agree.
I see 3.5 right now at DraftKings. So let's lock this in right now at Baltimore plus 3.5. I'm going to make this point at the top of the show, guys. Just listen to this carefully, okay? So, you have a game day roster, right, of 48 guys, all right? So think about that. You have a regular roster of 55 and a game day of 48. So you only sit 7 players at the most. And a lot of times it's just 5 players because only 53 are on the roster. You can have up to 55 you call up 2 practice squad players. So think about the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's not going to play, all right? The left tackle's probably not going to play. Kyle Hamilton's not going to play. Maybe Odell doesn't play. And one more player. Matt, that's it. The rest of the team is playing. It's not like college football when the rest of the team's like a bowl game. Everyone just sits out of the bowl game. The rest of the team has to play. If they're going to play, they're going to play to win. They're going to play their rival, the Steelers. They want to ruin their season. Mike Tomlin is a road favorite. Absolutely not. No chance in hell. No chance. And Baltimore plus 3.5. We still get it 3.5 right now. Did not help us last week with Carolina, but I am all over the Baltimore plus 3.5 train. We can lock that one in.
Yeah, if you don't listen to any more of this show, just make this bet and thank us later. If you go back in time, and other people have pointed this out, but in 2019, the Steelers were going into this exact game with Baltimore. The Ravens had clinched the 1 seed. Lamar was the MVP. They were resting some guys. The Steelers were road favorites. They came in with their third string quarterback. At the time, it was Duck Hodges. RG3 was the starter for the Ravens. The Steelers needed to win, and instead, Baltimore won 28-10 at home. It's the exact same scenario. And when you look at this, like we were texting about this one earlier, the Ravens, this is like what they do, right? Like they have like a whole roster full of guys who show up for preseason games because they're so deep. Like they care about these kinds of games. You mentioned the rivalry. Pittsburgh, yes, they have more to play for. We already mentioned that stat off the top. Like all these things kind of align. And the other thing is like you mentioned the guys who aren't going to play. Like so Lamar won't play, Ronnie Stanley won't play, whatever. Like let's remember that Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowl quarterback himself, even though that's kind of a silly, technicality at this point.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're benching everybody. Like they still have to play. Like Jadeveon Clowney is going to play. Like
Right.
most of the offensive line, Linderbaum's going to play. Like Gus Edwards is going to play. So they have a real team that can go out and beat the Steelers, and would love to. But they don't even need to beat them. They just need to lose by a field goal. So love Baltimore here. That's enough of that one. One down and four to go. The next game on Saturday is another big divisional game with playoff implications, and that's the Texans at the Colts. This has moved around a bunch this week. As I see it now, it's the Texans are laying a point to a point and a half on the road. Interesting game.
Yeah. So a couple things on again week 18. There's a lot of trends. Our friend John Ewing. So 2005 teams who spread moved by one or more points in their direction in the last game of the season have gone 44% against the spread. So that includes this number going from Houston opening, from Houston opens a dog, correct? And now they're now a favorite. So that goes in the direction. They have covered 44% of games when this happens, Matt, and the last week of the season. Now this game matters, right? The winner of this game has inside track to the wild card at the minimum. With Jacksonville loss, they might have the ability to win, or they will win the AFC South. I like Houston in this, but I don't really feel like compelled enough to make a case to put them in my top five. They're better than the Colts are, Matt. They're better quarterback, better defense, but the trends sort of tell you to stay away from this game. I mean, we haven't really followed the trends this year. And sometimes I think week 18, we have I don't know. It seems the trends seem to work very strong in week 18.
Yeah, they do. As a refresher for those of you who don't have the NFL.com playoff scenarios tab open, Houston flat out enters the playoffs if they win. The Colts need to win and Jacksonville to lose. So both, or no, they can just flat out win actually and get in the playoffs too. So lots of different scenarios. I think this game comes down to like the Colts. Are the Colts real or not? And they've had like so many strange games. Like no one's really held a close microscope to them, I think, because of how heroically they handled their quarterback situation this year. Like if CJ Stroud is that guy, he wins this game, right? It's not a great defense. It's a divisional team. It's Gardner Minshew. Like this is a playoff game. If we love CJ Stroud, we should bet him here. I know that like we missed the number. Everybody bet that Houston team on the other side of the zero. I still think it's worth considering, simply because like all they have to do is just win against this Colts team that I don't think either of us really believe in.
I mean, the Colts lost the Falcons, and the Bengals got blown out by the Bengals and blown out by the Falcons just the last month. I'm good with it.
They're not a good team.
I'm good with it maybe here. Well, I'm good with it maybe.
Yeah. All right. I'm not impassioned about it, but I think this is you mentioned like let's not overthink things this week. Like this one might fall into that category if we need a fifth at least. Okay, moving on to Sunday. The Browns, who are resting Joe Flacco because he's too important to the team. Can't believe we're saying that. They're playing Cincinnati, who got eliminated by your Chiefs last week. Bets and money are about split here. The line is 7 for Cincy at home. Jeez.
This is a ridiculous number, right? Like, this is
ridiculous.
It's the Browns +7, right?
I guess.
Matt, what would this number be if Flacco was playing?
Yeah, you're right. It would probably be it would probably be a pick.
A pick. It'd be Browns would be favored by 3 in this game.
Is Joe Flacco a 10-point line movement in the year of our Lord 2023, 24? My God.
Right?
I didn't really consider this because the Browns have neither team has anything to play for, right? Do the Browns even have seeding to play for?
No, they're the 5 seed.
Huh.
Dude, the Browns are 8 in DVOA and the Bengals are 13. I mean, maybe it's a pick 'em. Cleveland favored by 1, but 7 points. It feels like a lot of points, buddy.
Huh. Yeah, I mean Chase and Higgins are both a little banged up. I don't know. This could be this feels like a weird number. I would entertain the 7 here for Cleveland. It's just very strange. Who is starting for them?
Well, I mean, they can only sit 5 guys basically.
Right, but I mean, who's the quarterback we'd theoretically be betting on this week?
PJ Walker.
Oh no, it's Jeff Driscoll.
Oh right. No, that's why. Never mind. Cross it off.
Yep. See you later. I was like, I knew I had crossed this one off in my head for some reason, but I had forgotten why. That. And then I was like, it's Driscoll. Yeah, we don't bet on Jeff Driscoll.
No, I missed that. Sorry.
God bless.
Right. That one is officially
that was outstanding. That was, you don't get analysis like that on any other podcast. Reminder, we're 10 games over 500. Here we go, Jeff. One last time.
No.
Can we do it last time?
No.
The Carolina Panthers are hosting the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Bucks are laying 4.5. There is no one worse as a road favorite ever, maybe aside from Mike Tomlin, than Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield. The Panthers are getting 88% of the money and 59% of the bets. The question is, like, do we go back once more into the Carolina breach, which I swear we have not hit once this entire season?
Carolina's 4-10-2 against the spread this season. I think we're on all 10 losses.
I think so. I think we're 0-10 with the Panthers.
I can't stomach it. I just can't, Matt. I can't do it. I mean, maybe if we don't have 5, which it might be hard to get 5, but like, I can't do it, man. I just can't.
The 4.5 is very nice. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, all right. Let's put it as a maybe.
Wait,
I mean, some of these games, there's nothing even really to say. It's like the Bucks here, like there's some good Bucks trends that I can grab that are just like they as I mentioned are just terrible. Whenever they have any expectations, they absolutely laid a complete egg last week.
I know.
And I think that people just didn't watch that game against the Saints because anyone would rather do anything than watch an NFC South game. Baker is 13-26-1 as a favorite, and he's 5 games over 500 as an underdog. But the Bucks actually have been good on the road this year. Baker Panthers revenge game. I don't know. Let's put it as a maybe. It's disgusting. I would really rather not, but we have to consider it.
Okay.
Okay, next up is Jets Patriots. I'm seeing 1.5. You can get 2.5 if you want. This is hilarious because the Patriots are going to win this game and screw themselves potentially for a decade to come by not getting a quarterback here. That's what I think is going to happen.
They're supposed to like snow sideways in this game. So you like the Patriots in this game?
Yeah, like I just think this is like the Patriots have been playing reasonably well lately. I think that this is probably the Belichick swan song. I think that they are clearly not trying to tank. They could have beaten Buffalo last week. Like that sounds totally crazy to say, but there were some really fluky bad plays that went against. They had what, 4 turnovers and still almost won the game. This Jets team seems pretty checked out. You mentioned the weather. This, if this is Belichick's last game in New England, like, you think he's going to lose to the Jets? Is that what we think's happening?
No, that's a good point. All right, we'll do. How about we do a maybe on this one?
Do you know the
You know,
last time? So everyone knows that Belichick owns the Jets. Who was the president the last time that the Jets beat the Patriots?
2007.
It was 2015. They play twice a year. It was the Obama administration was the last time that the Jets beat the Patriots. This is like a
Wow.
ridiculously long streak that we're talking about here. So I just don't see it ending with I don't know, Trevor Siemian against on the road against Bill Belichick in a game where he's essentially like trying to leave his last impact on New England.
Okay.
Uh,
I
not a
it's a good
not a
case.
super thoughtful case, but does feel kind of true.
Okay, I'll
Um,
consider it.
all right, NFC North now. Vikings, Lions. Lions
Mm,
off that bizarre loss. Vikings technically have a way into the playoffs still. Lions laying 3 to 3.5. Nick Mullins is back in. Yeah,
no,
I see you shaking your head.
Nick Mullins is a turnover machine. We just can't do it, Matt. We can't. I think the Lions bounce back. They're pissed off about last week, and the Vikings are just out of the playoffs. I mean, they're just not going to. They're just. I can't do. I can't do the Nick Mullins thing.
Yeah. Detroit also feels like one of those teams that actually might care despite it being meaningless, Like they might be that team that's like, "Hey, we're still going to try to get the 2 seed or whatever. It doesn't matter if Philly wins or Dallas wins." Like they just seem like the kind of team that will care about that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
I agree. I think this is one as a pass because we'd have to take Minnesota and I don't like it. This one though, the line has really moved in the other AFC South game. The Jags are going to Tennessee. The line, I'm seeing a 4 out there now. The Jags are laying 4 points in Tennessee. Go ahead.
We're just not getting the best of the number. That's the only problem. But Tennessee's the play here. Um, Trevor Lawrence questionable till game time as of right now. Even if he was playing, I mean, the number would go back to the 5, which would be nice, Matt. But Tennessee's the play here. I mean, how often do we have to do this? It's Mike Vrabel at home as a dog against a Jacksonville team that is not very good. Got back on track last week. It's just kind of got back on track last week, but still not impressive in my opinion. They beat a Panthers team that stinks. The Titans they play hard, man. They're going to play hard in this game. They're going to try to win this game. Matt, I like the Titans here. You knew that already.
Yeah. Yep, I did. Just so we're clear here, in this spot, uh, it's a bunch of stats here. Like bad teams who are playing a team that's this exact level of difference better, like in terms of records. This particular bet is a 72.3% against the spread winner, according to our buddy Evan Abrams. So in this spot, uh, the the Titans and the Cardinals, who we'll get to later, are both hits in this like very specific Week 18 trend about these bad teams playing other teams that are fighting for the playoffs. I think we have to take Tennessee, even though we missed the number. I wonder if we can find like a 4.5 out there somewhere.
I think that
I
this.
only
I think
see a
if
4,
you
but
here's the thing, we obviously doing this now on Friday. If you listen on Saturday or Sunday, thank you. Um, if you wait till Sunday, you'll get a better number when Trevor Lawrence plays.
yep, that's
So
right.
it's like just wait it out. If you like Tennessee, we got to take the number we get now. But if you're a Tennessee Titans backer, I think you wait.
Yeah, I like that. Um, yeah, for us now, we'll take the 4. I can't seem to beat that. All right, a game that I hope doesn't exist, but will be aired on television in some capacity. The Falcons and the Saints, probably, maybe for the NFC South title, depending on what happens
Mm.
with Baker and the Bucks. The Falcons are getting 3 points in New Orleans. Everyone likes the Falcons. God help us if we even try to pick a side in this one, right?
There's no side to be had.
This game is so depressing. Like, what are we talking about here?
Okay,
This is
who's going to watch this game who's not a Saints or Falcons fan?
no one. I mean,
No.
literally no one. I mean, this is a Taylor Heineke versus Derek Carr showdown for potentially the division, unless Baker Mayfield can beat Bryce Young. Like, what are we doing here? This is a fucking catastrophe.
You put it that
what
way.
What are we doing?
You put that, and they're gonna host the Eagles too, and they might beat the Eagles in the playoffs.
I don't think so. I can't fathom that something like that. I think Tampa could make some noise because they can just score with Evans, but these two teams are horrible. I don't think we've bet the Falcons or the Saints once.
Falcons we've been against the Falcons a bunch, I think.
This game is horrible. Speaking of horrible, the Commanders are hosting the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys 13 to 13.5 point road favorites, and they're getting not only the public but also the sharp money. No take for me here. I think I would feel comfortable laying it if you really wanted to get spicy.
Wait, you lay it with the Cowboys against your Manders?
Dude, there's nothing left in Washington. Like, there's nothing. If I were them, I mean, I don't think anyone on that team is compelled, other than contract incentives, to try to do anything in this game. We shouldn't bet it. There's plenty more to do. But
2 months ago, I had a take of on Twitter where I was like, guys, Sam Howell's not the franchise quarterback. I was like, you're a bum. He leads the NFL in passing. And you're like, yeah. Okay, he leads the NFL in interceptions and sacks taken as well. So, I mean, yeah, he's not good. I'm probably with you on this one. Like, the Niners were about this number last week and covered. It took a little bit of time, but they got there. But also, the only thing the question about this game is that I could see the Cowboys just being the Cowboys and laying a complete egg in this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did last year. They came to Washington, Sam Howell's first start, and they were big favorites. They needed it for playoff seeding and didn't get there.
Okay, so
and Washington won outright.
We have Jahan Dotson over 50.5 receptions this year, Matt. It was a sharp play.
I have plenty of real money tied into this bet also.
He has 6 targets his last 3 games and 3 catches.
Well, if Brissett had come in,
he's at 47 right now. I need 4 catches this weekend.
I mean, they should sit McLaurin first of all, but they won't. When Brissett came in, like the ball moved because they threw to the good receivers, and that's the thing that is so baffling about the much discussed Eric Bieniemy. It's like, how many targets do we need to get to De'Ami Brown? Like, throw the goddamn ball to the 2 awesome receivers. Enough.
Who do you want to coach that team? Who do you think is a coach next year with the Commanders?
Great question. I think the way they're going to do it is they're going to hire the face of the team, the head of the front office kind of deal. I don't really see a sexy coordinator candidate like this guy on the Lions that everyone loves. Like, cool. I don't know. I just don't feel like that's moving the needle so much. There's a name that I'm actually really curious what your take is on him, Geoff, is Raheem Morris. The Rams defense has way overachieved this year. They have a contender for Defensive Rookie of the Year. But Raheem Morris, he's a defensive coordinator now. He was a head coach a long time ago. But he also was, I'm going to look this up and get this right. He was the pass game coordinator for a Kyle Shanahan offense in Atlanta, where they went to the Super Bowl. He was also the wide receivers coach for that team. So he knows both sides of the ball. He's been a head coach. He's been on a Kyle Shanahan team. He's been on a Sean McVay team. I kind of like a guy like that, honestly. But I don't think he's getting a ton of buzz, but he's a guy I've been thinking about.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Look, here's the harder part about this, I think, for Washington is hiring a defensive coach and drafting a young quarterback is probably difficult to pull off, right? Like you got to hire the right offensive coordinator, and if that guy's good, he leaves in 2 years, right, Matt? So like you might need to target offense if you're going to draft a quarterback. Put it like that.
I just don't know who those guys are that are left. Like,
No, I don't know either.
you know,
I don't know either. Matt Nagy.
like that's sort of the thing, and I think that what ends up happening is there's basically like the times you get the McDaniel and the times you get the McVay and the Shanahan, it makes it all look so easy. But like all of these handpicked guys, like Kellen Moore is a good example. Like everyone loved Kellen Moore this year. Everyone thought like he's just going to go, the Chargers are going to fly, and then he's going to get a head coaching job. Like there's more to it than, is there a good scheme in place? And you look at these coaches, like, I don't know, like some of them, it just makes sense. Like Kevin O'Connell and Matt LaFleur, like they just seem to like kind of keep the tide rising. But sometimes it's like the Tomlins who can just come in and, or the Vrabels who just keep it kind of consistent.
DeMeco Ryan's a good example, right?
DeMeco Ryan's exactly. Like part of a winning program, like they have they brought in that offensive coordinator who people are talking about, Slowick, like is potentially a guy also. So I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to make that choice, but I also am glad that the Commander's job isn't like the worst job in the league anymore, hopefully. Maybe the worst job in the league, but probably not. That'll be open is the Chargers job. The Panthers definitely have them beat, but that was my attempt at a segue. Chargers are hosting your Chiefs, laying 3.5 for some insane reason. Obviously, Mahomes and Kelsey are not going to play in this. But, like, what are we doing? The Chargers by 3.5 with Easton Stick against anyone? Should we be talking about the Chiefs now?
Okay, so a couple things on this game. Travis Kelce might play because he needs 7 yards for another 1,000-yard season. He might just dress and like get his reception and pack it on in. It's completely possible.
So he'd have more yards than last week when he got 16 yards in my fantasy football championship. Thanks, Geoff. Thanks, buddy. I'm fine.
I actually took the Chiefs team total over 15.5 on my Bear Bets pod this week. It's my best bet. The Chiefs have played 3 games like this where they've had to rest. They had to, but they have rested starters in week 17. I played one of these games in 2013. We scored 24 points against the Chargers. Mahomes made his first start, Matt, in 2017, this exact game, 27 points. And then 2020, they played the Chargers at home and scored 21 points. They're going to try to score. The issue I have, though, is that, like, they kind of stink on offense. Are they going to stink even more with Blaine Gabbert? Like, that's my only concern. But again, like, defensively, they're going to sit Chris Jones and Snee. Maybe Bolton. That's it. Like the rest of the good defense is going to play. Matt, so Chiefs plus 3.5 points.
I'm with it, man. I'm with it. I think.
Where's the money at for this one?
Is good question. Most of the public's on the Chiefs. 3/4 of the public are on the Chiefs, and 60% of the money.
Yeah.
But like, plus the hook too. Like
it opened to pick them, and Chargers got 3.5. Oh no! Open a pick without Mahomes playing essentially, and then it continued to. Yeah. I'll put the maybes for now.
Not great, but like, what are we talking about with Stick? Like,
Gabbert's better than Stick.
Gabbert's 100%. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another maybe. We're gonna have an interesting whittle down here. Okay, because there's definitely one more game that we're 100% taking.
I wonder which one it is.
Broncos.
I think I know what it is, though.
You know what it is. The Broncos are getting 2.5 or 3 in Las Vegas. They're getting all of the sharp money. Everyone loves Denver. Why?
Honestly, I think just stay away from this one. I have no feel for this game. I mean, Stidham on the road. I guess if they're getting 3 points, I have no feel for this one. None. Do you?
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
No, if any, like, I don't like that I'm on the opposite side of all the sharps. Like, I just think that this game really matters to Pierce, but that's a little too easy. So let's pass that. Rams Niners, another game. Weirdly, that the sharps seem to have an edge on with the Niners. The Rams are getting 4.5. in San
Yeah,
Francisco. There's been some talk that the 49ers are still going to play some guys.
that's
That
why.
feels a
That's
little
why
bit,
there's.
yeah. I don't know though, and obviously this is a Carson Wentz start for the Rams, so I think that just disqualifies us from even considering it. Um, but yeah, I think this is just a total stay away. Like both of these teams are going to have a lot of variance in terms of like who they play and what matters. So
Yeah.
I'd be fine to just pass this one.
Yeah, we should pass this one. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we have to do this one. The Eagles are
Yes.
laying
Giants.
5.5 points in New York. Yes,
Yeah.
to the New
Giants.
York
Done.
Giants. Giants
Yeah.
100% of the play. I have no idea
Yes.
why this line isn't shorter.
Okay. Giants are 1,000% to play for a lot of reasons. One is they have been out of the playoffs for a while now and continue to play their asses off, right? Look what they did the Rams
Yep.
last week, the Eagles a couple weeks ago. Like they're trying to win games still. Like they have no incentive to lose games, right? They're out of the running for basically any of the top picks. And the Eagles just lost the Cardinals at home. The Eagles continue to prove each week, Matt, they can't stop anybody. And Nick Sirianni said, their coach, at some point, he's going to scoreboard watch and realize the Cowboys are beating the shit out of the Commanders and pull all the starters out of the game. So, like,
Yep.
this is the Giants are good. 6.5, 6 is gone, unfortunately. Maybe everyone on a bunch of public plays pushes back to 6 at some point, but 5.5 is absolutely the play here. 1,000% done, sold. It's going to be a boring atmosphere in New York for this one as well. This is, yes, 100% Giants.
Yep. Nothing to add really. Tyrod Taylor undefeated this year against the spread under Dable 3-0-1. Giants way better as dogs. Eagles never great as road on the road at
Yeah.
all against the spread at least. But yeah, especially not as favorites of over a field goal. The only thing that concerns me in this, and this is why we're gambling, is like I'm not sure that the Eagles are just dead. And this game, the sky is falling with the Eagles, but you know, there's this worry for me that like they could just turn it on and find it, and it's not likely. And this was the one I was referring to. Like this is in our five, no matter what. But I really respect that team. I respect how competitive they are, and I feel like they could just sort of say like, "Hey, let's beat the shit out of this team, and let's get back to being the Eagles for the playoffs, and screw the scoreboard and all that stuff." But that's hard. That's hard to do. I mean, you've been part of teams, I'm sure, that have had that conversation with themselves. Like, how realistic do you think that is?
Realistic to what?
That they could just like turn it on in a game like this before
No,
the playoffs
I've
and just
not
say
been in a
like,
team
we're the
like that.
Eagles.
I've been on the Giant side of this game where like you're just playing out the string. No, Matt, I mean, the Eagles had an opportunity to be the 2 seed and blew a double-digit lead to the Cardinals at home. They're When are they going to turn it on? It should turn on last week.
Fair point.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
this is in our five no matter what. So
yes, it
love
is.
this one. We have 3 that are bulletproof and then 4 that are in the maybe pile. Let's see if there's any more left. A couple of fun games to end the day.
Yeah.
The Bears and the Packers in the possible Justin Fields Bowl. God, everyone is on the Bears here. 89% of the money is on
Yeah.
Chicago getting 3 points in Lambeau. Reminder that this is another one of those, like the Packers totally own the Bears. They beat them earlier this season. Justin Fields probably playing to stay. Eberflus possibly playing for his job. My favorite under bet of the year was the Bears under 7.5. That's very much in doubt at 7 wins
I
right
know.
now. I don't think we're taking this, but I'm curious what side you're on.
Well, the Packers defense is so bad. I think you have to take the points if you're taking this game at all, right? And take the Bears plus the 3 is my
Yeah.
sense on this game. But we have the Bears under 7.5 wins. So I'm not wagering on the Bears in this game. That's the thing about week 18 too. Like there are some games where we'll get to Arizona, I think, next. We're like, I think Arizona might win that game. We're going to lose that win total, Matt, if they win that game. And like it's a bad spot to be in. I think we're not hedging people. I don't think me and you are very often. But I think that's I'm just not rooting for that to happen. Put it like that. Like I need the Bears to lose. We both need the Bears to lose. So I'm not taking Bears plus 3 for that reason, really. Just a personal reason. I think the Bears plus 3 is a side, though.
Yeah, I do too. I actually am texting my friend. Should we just take the Bears money line? Because I mean they're probably the Bears have been the better team for like the last month plus. Their defense has been good. Fields has really looked strong. They've seemed to have just like coalesced, even though they were totally out of it for most of the season. They're a fun team, so I think everybody will be rooting for them to break the streak and screw the Packers, who, if I'm not mistaken, I do have some playoff incentives here. It's so hard to keep track of these 7 spots. All right, let's talk about the Cardinals. They're getting 3 points at home against Seattle.
What do you think?
I mean, all the trends say that this is a Cardinals smash. So, I mean, I guess that would be the side again if you're just sort of not overthinking it. But
they're the public side this week, though.
Yeah, they are the public side. That tends to be like when they perform well. We definitely do not have to take this one.
I haven't felt. I know some sharps that are on this one. I have not felt great about it, though.
Yeah, I don't either.
You know?
Cardinals 1-13 in their last 14 against the NFC West against the spread. Kind of weird.
Yeah. I think just stay away.
Yeah, I don't. Something about this is fishy to me. I'm fine to pass it. Well, let's actually talk about this last game on Sunday night because it is definitely the main event of the week. The Bills are road favorites in Miami and getting all of the money. I see a +3 out there for Miami now. What do you think of this?
Okay, so last week or 2 weeks ago, I took Buffalo to win the AFC East at +265. So
nice.
I bet Miami +3 to try to middle. So that's personally what I've done. I'm trying to a little middle. If I hit both, great. If I lose the Miami one, I'll make money on Buffalo. I think Dolphins +3 is the play, Matt. The concern obviously is the injuries on the Dolphins side. It's a lot of injuries on the Dolphins side. They're very beat up. But Buffalo is just a team that's so up and down. They can play their A game and they can win this game like they did the first time. Or just sort of not play their A game and lose this game, Matt. So I lean Dolphins +3 here. I think everyone's picking Buffalo to win this game, which makes me feel more comfortable while taking the Dolphins in this spot. It's a standalone game, obviously, on Sunday night, final game of the season. But I think Dolphins +3 is the side. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I do too. Buffalo is a super tricky team to wrap my head around. We talked about them playing the Patriots last week. The Bills game was similar. The Chargers game was similar. They came out here and did everything they could to lose to Easton Stick. They smoked Dallas. They had that crazy game against the Chiefs, the crazy game against Philly. You never know who's going to show up for them. And the thing is, like with the Dolphins, you actually kind of do know what team is going to show up when they're at home. They're unbelievable at home. They
got smoked last week, right? Which is typically the next week that those teams come back and play better.
Yes, you definitely want to get them after a blowout loss. There's great numbers for that. Tua is. I have too many numbers swirling around in my head. 18-7 at home against the spread. He's very good. He is 11-4-1 against the spread against the AFC East. Buffalo, it's just like Buffalo is better at home as well. They're better, when they're big favorites. They have a tough time when it's like actually going to be a close game. The thing that's, you mentioned the injuries, like Tyreek's not the same. The Dolphins seem to completely fall apart when Raheem Mostert's not on the field in the red zone. Like they can just move at will, and then they just they don't know what to do when they don't have their red zone weapon. Waddle, it looks like he's questionable still, but I don't know. I just feel like the Dolphins are really at a buy low spot, and Buffalo I think is the third best Super Bowl odds right now, but they could
They
miss the
do. They're not even in the
playoffs. Like
playoffs. Yeah.
this is one of those chances where you could be just like Buffalo hype train could be way too high.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with putting Miami in as home dogs here.
Okay. So
It's
we
fun.
have for sure Baltimore, Tennessee, the Giants. We need two
Okay, two
out of what
spots
I
left.
wrote down: Houston, Carolina, New England, Kansas City, Miami. Carolina has to be in, right?
Wow, you said that so forcefully. Do you actually mean
Do they?
it?
I mean, it's the same play
Who do
we
you feel
made with
worst about?
Buffalo. I feel worse about New England. It's not a bad wager, though.
I feel worse about Houston, I think. Rookie
Okay,
quarterback on the road in a playoff spot
so
is probably a
rookie
time to get
quarterback too.
out.
Okay, throw Houston out. Chiefs, I think you just throw the Chiefs out. I don't know, man. I mean,
Okay. Yeah,
so
we back and blame Gabbert in a meaningless game. Yeah, okay.
yeah. Carolina, New England, Miami. We need 2 of 3. I just personally, I'd prefer to stay away from the Miami game. It's a national game, most important game of the day, and just take Carolina and New England. Be done with it. That's my
Fine.
personal opinion on that.
I'm into that. Can we? I'm going to double check the New England line and see if it's moved because this is sort of moved around a bit this
I did
week.
not come
There's
into today thinking we were taking New England, by the way.
Yeah, it's not great, but it kind of is what we like to do here.
Carolina, holy shit.
Carolina is such a rough bet, man. Both of these are such bad bets. Like Zappy and Bryce. I think the Panthers might win the game outright, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm really comfortable with them with the 4.5. The Patriots are gross, but I think it's just like a one last hurrah for Belichick, and I think that counts for something.
Okay, so we have Baltimore -3. Baltimore +3.5. Tennessee +4. The Giants +5.5. Carolina +4.5. And New England -1.5. Is that's where we're at right now?
I think so.
Oh boy. We figured out our record, by the way. Hank added 2 extra wins. So we're 46, 33, and 6. 58.2%, Matt. 58.2%.
Very good. Very good. Well, I think we have another winning week in us here, and what a way to close it out with one more run at the Panthers.
Oh my God, it's just so bad. All right, we'll take a quick break and get to our vaulted, and we'll call it a day. All right, Matt, we're back with our vaulted pool predictions for the week. Go to the Vaulted app, VLTED, my season-long game. Check out my vaulted pool. That's Geoff with the Goff. Find my pool, enter my pool, 20 questions, agree or disagree, set a point value between 1 and 10 of confidence, and it's free to enter. Winning entry, $400 for the week. You beat me, and you enter the pool for the big game on the final NFL Sunday of the season. So, Matt, let's talk about some of these that we like. And I'll put these predictions, by the way, that we made already in the show into the Vault app so they can be stored. Look, we talked about this already. We like the Titans to cover against Jacksonville. Derrick Henry, more rushing yards than Travis Etienne. Interest. What do you think? I think if Etienne's got to do more if Lawrence is out, right?
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like it sort of depends who you like. Etienne looked very good last week. I think I would probably lean Etienne because they're going to try to feed their stars a bit more, and who knows what the Titans' game plan is. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. So scrolling down a little bit here. Taysom Hill will have more than half the total touchdown against the Falcons. I'm just disagreeing. Just immediate disagree. You have to disagree, right? You just have to.
So it's so funny that you skipped to that one because I was trying to sneakily figure out if my hypothesis was true here. And it's basically like if Taysom Hill is involved in the game, the Saints have a chance. And if he's not, they don't. Like I'm looking at some of their wins this year, and he didn't do much last week. I'm not sure if this theory is correct, but this is like the kind of game where the
Yeah.
Saints have to use him. Like the Saints
Yes.
seem to have
It's
no
kitchen
plan in
sink.
the red zone unless Taysom
Correct.
Hill has the ball in his hands, and then everything seems to work. So
Yeah.
I think I might disagree with you here because I do think that they are going to try everything they can to win. That doesn't mean they'll succeed, but I think I like Taysom to go over his 0.5 touchdowns.
How dare you? How dare you? Justin Fields have more than half a rushing touchdown against the Packers. Absolutely agree on that. Like just as the
Yeah.
Packers defense stinks and Fields has to run to. I think it was on five. I think it's five passing touchdowns for like the last month. Like he's got to run to be part of that offense. I also like here, Matt. Stephon Diggs will have more receptions than Tyreek Hill. I disagree on that one. This is a Tyreek Hill game all the way, man. No
Yeah.
Waddle. Like it's Tyreek Hill with a bazillion catches.
Yeah, man, and Stephon Diggs. I mean, that is honestly this like the story of Buffalo's season is he kind of fell out of their game plan. He was so involved in the beginning of the season. He fell out of their game plan and they started winning. I mean, you look at the last couple of weeks, 4 for 26, 5 for 29, 4 for 48, 4 for 24. That's December. That's crazy. I mean, for a guy as prolific and as talented as he is. So definitely Tyreek Hill to go more receptions than Diggs.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you got, buddy?
I like Raheem Mostert to go over his half a touchdown against Buffalo for everything I said. Like I just think that
Yeah.
if you like Miami, then you kind of have to like Mostert. Um, and yeah, I think that's a good one. I think there's definitely a bunch of these games here like you can get a good number with the Browns 6.5. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so really fun this vaulted pool. I'm really glad we've been able to do it every week. There are a couple things, Geoff. You mentioned our season long futures. There are a couple things that I just want to like have our eyes on this week. Um, the Bears one I think is big. We put 300 to win 300. Again, for the Bears to go under 7.5, that would make up for a lot if we were able to cash that one. It looks like we're going to hit. There's also a nice one we had on Saints no playoffs. That one is at a plus 160. That's a really nice number.
Yes.
So I guess we have to kind of root against ourselves there with Baker Mayfield. But Desmond Ritter's not going to play. I think we should be able to cash his under.
Dude, he came last week. He got like 16 yards at the end of the game. He's close. We're like 60
He's
yards away
really
from him
close.
hitting that. Yeah.
He's really close. There's yeah, I mean, the Jahan Dotson one was one we really loved. We'll see if we're able to cash that one. But there are a couple like, Tyler Lockett. I think he's at like 835. We have him at 875. Like, there's a couple that we're really going to have some fun that come down to the last week. So this week will make or break our futures. So good luck to us. Hopefully you followed the winners and didn't take all of our losers. But I think our under running it back experiment was a winner.
And the the plus 500 Lamar MVP one was a good one we added.
Yes, we bet that. We also bet the Rams to make the playoffs in October. That's a nice check. That was a good one. So whenever we do these in season, we tend to do pretty well on those. So
yeah. Oh yeah. All right, everyone. Well, hope you enjoy your weekend of football. We have a national championship game on Monday between Texas, Michigan, and Washington. I will preview that with Gabe on Monday, everyone. So stay tuned for that one. I have my thoughts on that game as well. I think we might do a prize picks for that, Matt. It'll be kind of fun for the championship game.
Oh, so great.
Stay tuned on Monday for that, guys. Have a great weekend of watching football. We'll be back next week, and we'll talk playoffs, Matt, me and you next week. How about that? Some playoff football.
Playoffs?
I'm going to take the whoever the Bucks are hosting, just plus the points. Bucks plus the points. No? Just can we pre-bet it? No?
I love that. Hey, there's something a buddy of mine sent me this one really quick.
Okay.
AFC to win the Super Bowl plus 100. NFC is minus 125. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, but you would probably get the Ravens better than plus 100 in the Super Bowl.
Right, but you're also getting the Chiefs, the AFC
Yeah, but you
East.
get better numbers in the Super Bowl, though, wouldn't you?
I guess, yeah, if you spread it out. Yeah, I guess you're
Yeah.
probably right.
Like Kansas City in the Super Bowl is
Because
plus 140 to win the Super Bowl, right?
is that really it right now?
No, I'm saying you said plus 100 to win the Super Bowl for AFC, right? I'm saying if they played the Niners in the Super Bowl, what would they be money line?
Right. No, yeah, you're probably right. I just mean it for right now, but you're
Yeah, but the future
you're
is
definitely
the
right.
future's
That
not a
is
good
worth
bet
saving.
because the future's not a good bet because in that game you could just take the better number. Are you basically saying that your bet is that the Ravens are the favorite against someone in the AFC? You get a better number now. It's basically your bet.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's
Yeah.
I think you've successfully shot down an extremely entertaining bet that I should not make. Thank you.
No,
I think
don't
it's
make it.
really bet. But,
Don't do it, buddy.
well, my internet just cut out, so that might signal that it's time to end the show when I'm
Yeah.
making up
All
bets
right,
for us
everyone.
to take. But way to save my money.
We will talk to you guys next week. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.